Welcome to my first ASMR video. Just kidding, just kidding. This is all about Animal Crossing, I swear, I promise. So if you're new to the Animal Crossing community, these are some tips that might help you. I started playing Animal Crossing for the first time this year, and I made a lot of mistakes. So these are some things that nobody told me, and I wish someone would have told me. So let's get started. First things first, your villagers have different personality types. I know, it's a thing. It's nice. I like it. No one told me, so I had absolutely no idea that you had all these different personalities. And like right here, for example, Renee, she has a sisterly personality, which pretty much means that she's blunt, she's sarcastic, she's funny, she's kind, caring, she's got that whole sisterly thing going. This is Ribbit, he's my jock. So this guy is always exercising, and he's all about fitness, and whenever you see him around the island, he's gonna be exercising. How I found out about villagers and their different personality types. I went to visit a friend's island, shout out to Wilkris, and she was giving me a tour, and she was, showing me all her little villagers and giving me their personality type. But what she would say would be like, oh, this is so-and-so. He's my jock, or this is my cranky villager. And I'm like, I thought she was just like describing them. Like I was like, well, maybe she, she's got a bond like that with them. And I did not understand what she was saying. It wasn't until later that I Googled it, because I was like, what is she talking about? That I realized that villagers have different personality types. So yes, before you invite a villager to come live on your island, make sure that you like their personality type. Do not pick up and sell all of your weeds. That's what I did the first time I played this game. And it wasn't until later that I realized that I need these little weeds to make DIYs. And so I now am a hoarder because I learned the hard way that you do not sell all of your weeds, because then you need them. And no one tells you this. So I went full on crazy, picked everything up, all the weeds all over my island, and then I sold them. And so for a while, I had absolutely nothing, and I could not make medicine. So make sure you don't sell all your weeds. Another huge mistake that I made was eating fruit before hitting my rocks. I saw a YouTube video where some guy said that you should eat fruit before you're going to start doing all your activities, so that way, you have all this health and you can chop wood and break things. And so I thought I was supposed to eat fruit and then hit the rock. And so when it came time to collect those 30 rocks, 30 iron nuggets, 30 clay for building the shop, it took me forever. And the worst part is I would, use Nook Mile tickets and go to these islands, and I would break the rocks there too. And so for weeks I had no rocks, because it takes a couple days for the rocks to spawn back up. And I know that it sounds stupid to make this mistake, but you have to understand, there's absolutely no guide. Nothing tells you, oh, don't break the rocks, or if you hit it without eating any fruit, then you get more stuff. Nowhere on there does it tell you that. And so I just kept making this mistake over and over and over and over and over again. Another thing that kept happening to me was getting stung by wasp. I would just give up on life. If I saw the wasps, I would just let it happen, and because I didn't know there was something I could do. So you can either run into a building and they stop chasing you, or you can catch them. So yes, you do not have to be getting stung by a wasp all the time. Just catch them. On to the next thing that I didn't know. Your villagers give you DIYs 3 times a day. Morning, afternoon, and nighttime. I had no idea, and so I never collected these DIYs. I played about 500 hours before I realized that you could actually talk to them while they were making DIYs. You could get whatever they were working on. And so I would just see them sometimes. I would walk into their house and I would see them working on a DIY and I would think, oh my god, that's so cool, it's so cute. But never did it cross my mind that I should, ask them what they were working on. So maybe I'm just dumb. I probably am, and that's why I kept making these dumb mistakes. But yeah, here I am telling you so you don't make the stupid mistakes I did. Next dumb move I did was time traveling while having my turnips. I didn't know this, obviously. I learned the hard way. Thankfully, I hadn't bought too many, so it wasn't too bad. But what I did discover was that you can time travel a couple of days ahead and you will be fine. Your turnips won't rot. But if you do more than a day, then that's when they rot. So just don't time travel when you buy your turnips. Next thing I did, yes, genius me, was not pick up the DIY bottles. Once I started noticing that they would get repetitive, this was very early on, I would just stop picking them up because I was like, well, why am I picking these things up? Like, I just got the same thing, and I think at the time it was so early on that I didn't know that DIYs were that important. I know a lot of these things are just like common sense, I guess, but for someone like me, I didn't get it. I would literally just walk past these bottles and just leave them there because I didn't know any better. So don't make the same dumb mistakes that I did. Pick up your DIY bottles. Trust me. You'll thank me. And then you can share them with your friends. If they get repetitive, just save them and give them to your friends. Next thing no one tells you is to talk to Celeste. Make sure you talk to Celeste. And I know you're probably thinking, how do you not know this? Well, guess what? I didn't know. So whenever I would see her, I think I would maybe say hi once, but I don't think she gives you the DIY right away, or maybe she does. I don't know. All I know is I would ignore her because I didn't know she was going to give me a DIY every single time I talked to her. So I think that's the one that hurts the most. Knowing I could have gotten so many DIYs from Celeste and I didn't because I would see her and I would ignore her. I thought all it meant was that maybe there was going to be shooting stars that night. And so I know, I'm dumb. But don't make the same mistakes I did. No one told me I had to talk to Celeste every single time. Next on the dumb things I would do is just kind of ignore this little gold light that would come from the ground. I think it was until like maybe the third time that I walked past one that I was like, let me take this up. And I did. And I would take the money with me and just, walk away. I wouldn't even close the hole. But yeah, it was until later on that I learned that you're supposed to plant the money so then you can get a money tree. But yeah, I did things like that. I don't know what to say. I know, literally there was gold shining from the ground and I ignored it. But it's okay, because now I got money trees all over my island. Not gonna make that mistake twice. Next on things no one tells you. The first time you use Mall tickets to invite villagers to live on your island, I didn't know if you didn't like the villager, you didn't have to invite them to come live on your island. So I just stuck to the first two that I got and I became stuck with them. So that's something else that no one tells you. There's no way for you to know until, later on when you watch YouTube videos and you find out that you had options potentially. So remember, villagers have different personalities. So make sure that you pick villagers that have the personalities that you like. And remember, at the beginning, don't sell all of your weeds. You will need them for different DIYs. And remember not to hit your rocks after eating. Run inside or catch the wasp so you don't get stung. Remember, villagers will give you DIYs up to 3 times a day, so make sure you go check who's inside their home so you can ask for the DIY. Don't time travel after purchasing your turnips. Pick up your DIY bottles. If you already have it, just share it with the world. Always speak to Celeste. The first time that Tom Nook sends you out to get villagers, remember that you don't have to get the first villagers you find. You can always go to other islands. Thanks for watching. If you actually made it all the way to the end of this video, bless your heart. Like and please subscribe so you can watch more. Thank you.